Alright guys, welcome back. Now in today's video, I've got a very good success story to share. I've got an email from a subscriber in which he details how he went from getting involved with the wrong woman, overlooking the red flags, getting dumped, discovering she had monkey bunched on him, becoming depressed, suicidal, taking the time to work on himself, learning about relationships. Eventually, he also came across my channel amongst other work. Changed his mindset, put himself out there again, started dating and came across a very good quality woman in which he's with now. And overall, he's happy and fulfilled. I love how he breaks it down, and he wanted me to share his experience so that you guys who are going through a similar situation, perhaps you're hopeless, you don't think things could work out for you, then maybe by listening to what he went through and how he pulled himself out of it and made his life better, it can inspire you and motivate you to keep going. Okay? With that said, let's get right into it. I really love this success story. Hopefully many of you will be sending me many more. Hello Christian, I've wanted to email you for a month, but life has been very busy. I wanted to share my success story with you and maybe with your viewers if you feel inclined to do so, but please be mindful to change my name. Well, as I've used the name Jimmy many times for subscribers that want to keep their identity private, we're going to call him Jimmy. I apologize for the long email, but I had to tell you my full story. So now we're going to start off with the relationship he had that led him to fall. I was a 35-year-old physician in Texas who was approached by a nurse at one of the hospitals that I work in. You can call her Jessica. She reached out over Facebook in January 2020. Jessica was 24 years old at the time and was sending me messages trying to get to know me and eventually asked me out for an ice cream date. This lets me know that she's very physically attracted to you and seems to have high initial interest, which is realistically what you want in a woman. I'm a very busy man with little time to give away, and I've always had the textbook Sigma male personality, not alpha, which has always drawn women towards me. Yeah. So he has those alpha traits: confident, masculine, strong, direct. However, he's a little bit more introverted, more focused on himself. He's more private, which makes him appear more mysterious, which in turn is going to make women more attracted to him because he's harder to figure out. I'm also good looking and in great shape, and I never had any problem getting any girl I wanted, so I thought she was another interested girl, one of many. After 2 very short days, she invited me over for a movie. She kept on seducing me for over 2 hours until we had sex. Meanwhile, her sister and nephew were sleeping in the room next door. So, just stop it right there for a second. At first glance, so far so good, right? This woman seems to be very into him. She likes Jimmy, she's asking him out, she seduces him. It's her idea. Perfect. All he has to do is go along, have fun and get to know her. And this is when the problems start. He got to know her. Now we get into the red flags. She didn't have many girlfriends, had breast implants at the age of 17, which her mum helped her get. She dressed like a stripper, had nipple piercings, and I actually felt uncomfortable being seen in public with her. And her father's apparently the doormat in the house. 4 massive red flags. These were not red flags, they were large red stop signs with flashlights lit on fire. But I somehow ignored them and turned a blind eye. I love how he says that. Large red stop signs with flashing lights lit on fire. But again, he's honest with himself. He takes accountability for the fact that he turned a blind eye because he was enjoying the attention. You got a beautiful woman that's asking you out, seducing you. That can really stroke your ego and make you get nice and comfortable. But you can't. You can never get comfortable, especially not at the beginning. You got to test her. Let's break down the red flags, yeah? She didn't have many girlfriends. Why is that a problem? Women that have good values, a great personality, are kind, generous and loving, they are able to maintain healthy long-term friendships. that is a sign that she's healthy, that she's good to be around, that she can pair bond. It also indicates that if you are to get into a relationship with her, generally speaking, it can go long term because she's able to maintain other long-term friendships that would be evident in her life. However, if she's not able to maintain long-term friendships, what does that say about her? Clearly, she's unable to get along with other people, or other women avoid her because of the way she is. You see, women that are feminine and have good traits are able to maintain healthy friendships with other like-minded females. She's able to make fellowship with other women, the same way you as a man should be able to make and create bonds and friendships with other like-minded masculine men. That's just healthy. That's what normal people are capable of doing. So if she can't get along with other women, something could be wrong there. Number 2, she had breast implants at 17 and her mother helped her get it. What type of mother lets her 17-year-old daughter cosmetically alter her appearance? All that does is feed that girl's insecurity and lack of self-worth. Let me tell you guys something about cosmetic surgery. Men and women that have a high self-esteem love and accept themselves for who they are. Their flaws, their positive traits, they don't want to change themselves. Men and women that have a low self-esteem, that do not have any self-love, do not have any self-respect, do not accept and love themselves for who they are the ones who are going to go down the road of cosmetically altering their body. You have to be a very insecure person to want to modify your appearance. There's no way around it. And if you get involved with a woman like that, she will never be able to love and accept you because she doesn't love and accept herself. And especially she has a mother at that age who, instead of building her self-esteem and loving her, is encouraging her to modify her body. So what does that tell you about the mother? She's not a good influence. But there's a reason why the mother isn't a good influence. Because as we know, he said the father is a doormat. That's where all of the problems come from. The father isn't being strong in the family, in the household. He's not leading his wife or his daughter. So his daughter's self-esteem is pretty much this small. Which is why not only did she have breast implants, but she dressed like a stripper. Even he said he felt uncomfortable being seen with her in public. Look, guys, if you've got a beautiful woman on your arm and you're walking down the street, you're going to be proud to show her off. Every guy knows that. But if you're in a situation where even though she's good looking and she's dressed like that, you don't feel comfortable, it's because you know something isn't right with that woman. You see, there's nothing wrong with a girl dressing in tight, dressing nice, showing a little bit off because she's young and wants to look good. There's nothing wrong with that. But as he mentioned here, when your woman is dressing like a stripper and she's really showing everything off, this is a woman that is either promiscuous on her way to becoming promiscuous. She feels like the only way to get attention and to feel good about herself is to show her body off to the world. Remember, women that flaunt their looks and their body will get attracted by men. However, they will never get admired and respected by men, because real men will only respect and appreciate a woman that is modest in dressing, appearance and demeanor, that is womanly, okay, that clothes herself with self-respect and integrity. So these red flags, pay attention to them, huh? And then obviously the father is a doormat, so that's where we get everything. Everything comes from that. The father didn't lead, he didn't set the tone in the relationship with his wife, because obviously his wife is able to even tell the daughter, oh yeah, go ahead and take the breast implants. Where's the father's influence to tell his daughter, you don't need to change your body, you're beautiful the way you are? Where is the father saying that to his daughter? But instead the mother obviously overrided the dad, because he's a doormat, and he handed his balls to the mother. The mum runs the show, and then you got a dysfunctional daughter let loose in society. That's my analysis on the red flags. let's carry on with his email. So this is the start of it. He turned a blind eye, so it was his fault. Never forget that. By March, COVID hit us hard. This was last year. And I was working 80 to 90 hour weeks, sometimes more. She kept asking for attention, and I did try to give it to her, but it was impossible at times. I'd visited her before with my eyes bloodshot and passed out in the middle of the conversation. Also, I wasn't happy in the relationship. I could feel something was wrong with her as a person, but I was too stocked up with work that I again kept ignoring that feeling. So he's working 80, 90 hour weeks. He's exhausted mentally and physically, but he still goes out of his way to make time to see her, by which point he's passing out. He's exhausted, but he's still trying. And as he mentions, he wasn't happy with the relationship, and he could feel something wasn't right with her as a person. The reason why you could feel that something wasn't right with her, Jimmy, was because you overlooked the red flags. Just because you pretend they're not there doesn't mean they're not there. Okay? That's what's going on here. And now the red flags are going to start to show up in unexpected ways. A month later, she told me that her ex had been chasing her to get back together, and I was surprised. Why would a self-respecting guy chase a girl when she had been in a relationship for at least 3 months? Because obviously the ex was in the background the whole time. Why else? Didn't have to be Sherlock Holmes to figure that one out. Later on, I figured out that she had monkey branched to me and that the poor guy had just been dumped. So you didn't know that she had this guy in the background. She obviously was looking to get rid of the ex. She's insecure, as we know, doesn't know how to be alone, doesn't love or accept herself. She sees you, you're attractive, you seem to be strong. She wants to date you. But because she's emotionally damaged and hasn't resolved her childhood trauma, she doesn't know how to accept or appreciate a good man. That's the thing with this type of woman. She needs therapy and she needs God. However, that's not your responsibility to change or fix her. It is up to her. But remember, if she will cheat on someone else to be with you, eventually she will cheat on you to be with someone else. That's just the way it is. Fast forward to September, she told me about a guy from work. We can call him Dan, who literally said that he would be her side boy in secret until the relationship fails. Well, what type of conversation is she having with a man to where he would even say something like that to her? You see, if a man gets close to your woman, guys, it's not the guy's fault, it's her fault. Because she's the one that can nip it in the bud right there and then. The moment a guy approaches her at work, at the gym, at college, on the street, walking a dog, it is up to her to tell the guy, I'm not interested, leave me alone. Or just ghost the guy. And she will tell you. So clearly she's been interacting with this guy to where he's comfortable enough to even say something like that to her. However, it's almost like she's telling on herself in a subtle way, letting you know that she is lining up this guy. I actually laughed about it and said, what kind of guy has that low self-respect? I agree. I tried to see her more, but she seemed to be more and more distant. And by December, she texted me saying that she wanted a break. Oh, what a coincidence that is. So in September, she tells you about this guy at work who wants to be her side boy. Then as the months go on until December, she starts to pull away and distance herself from you. And then all of a sudden she wants a break. Translation, she's been lining up this Dan behind your back. Okay? And after a few months of getting to know him, she's really considering swinging to a different branch. Now, because she's not entirely sure whether to swing to him or not, she's going to tell you, let's have a break. In other words, I'm going to put you on hold while I test out Side Boy Dan. And if it doesn't work with Side Boy Dan, I can cut him off, run back to you, press resume, and we can keep playing. But if Side Boy Dan is an upgrade, then I can delete you, carry on with him, just like that. That's basically what she's telling you. The only other time where a woman will say to you, I want a break, where there's no infidelity involved, is when you guys are having some serious fights or arguments, or perhaps you've said or done something to really hurt her, and she really wants some time away to heal from you. She will say, I want to break. But if everything's been going smooth, you've been treating her well, you've been faithful, you've been dating and courting her properly, then yeah, especially when there's something like this, there's a side boy Dan in the background, yeah, you already know what it is. I do not have to go any more into detail on that. So I was at work, so I quickly replied that I agreed to take a break for a while and then talk about it and see where we are and what we want. Well, if she says she wants a break and she's not going to tell you why, you walk away. He said she kept texting me every week or so, sometimes wanting to see me, so I thought she was still very attached to me and struggling with the breakup. I planned to call her by March to patch things up and to talk more seriously, but one day before that, she blocked me on social media and stopped responding to my texts. Well, the reason why she was texting you every week or so was to prevent you from walking away. So she's basically throwing you a bone, right? Like feeding you some scraps, to keep you coming back, When she sees that you're getting hungry, she gives you something to fill you up. But it's just temporary. And as she built a stronger connection with him, she eventually pull away from you fully. Which eventually, it led to the point to where you were going to call her and then she's blocked you on social media. Because obviously, she's following him, or whether it's Instagram, Facebook, and she doesn't want you to find that out. That's why she blocked you. And then she stopped responding to your texts. I was losing 2 to 5 patients every single day after being attached to them and their families for weeks on end. That really brought up my separation anxiety to its peak, as I have had a separation trauma in the past when I lost my twin brother. Oof, I'm really sorry to hear that. Now that is tough. I've been close with twins before, and for anybody who doesn't know, the bond that twins have is far more unique and special than you will have with a normal sibling. Okay? And that must have been extremely painful for Jimmy. Losing someone that you're so close to, that you love dearly, that is very difficult to overcome. That takes a lot of grieving, that takes a lot of healing. And on another part, I can sympathize with you because back in December of 2019, there was a chance where my brother nearly passed away. He had to have a life-saving surgery. I'm not going to go into detail because my brother doesn't want me to, give away all the information. It's private. And there was a chance he wasn't going to make it, but he eventually pulled through. And for me, that was a difficult time. And I suffered quite a bit back then. Knowing that I could have lost him was horrible. So I cannot even imagine the pain it was of actually losing a brother. So my heart does go out to you. And I hope, he's resting. That is horrible. So obviously, guys, he goes to this breakup. He's confused. He's heartbroken. He's losing patience. It's resurfacing emotions that he had from when his brother passed away. That can really affect your mental health. So this made me a very, very insecure, and the macho man persona suddenly disappeared. So when she suddenly blocked me, my anxiety shot up to the roof. Then she answered me with very short texts, basically giving me mixed signals. I tried everything. Begging, pleading, no contact, good times, reminder, basically everything out there on the internet. The only thing that may have worked is no contact. Yeah, because realistically, no contact is for you to heal. Providing the woman is good for you, compatible, there's no unfaithfulness, you had some arguments. Yeah, she can come back, you could maybe consider it, but definitely not in this case. But realistically, no contact is for you to heal. When she unblocked me, the only thing that may have worked was no contact. When she unblocked me and would text me to ask a random question. That drove me nuts, and I was very depressed and suicidal. I had no interest in life and almost lost my job. So he gave up. So, as you guys can see, he basically broke down. He lost his strength. And this was the guy who was focused on his work. He just thought that this Jessica was one of the many girls that always liked him because he had options with women, he had abundance. And then, due to this breakup, it completely destroyed his confidence, knocked him off his center. Even to the point which caused him to beg and plead, give her the reminder of the good times. Doesn't work. And as he mentioned here, he became depressed and suicidal. Now, here's the thing with suicide. There's an Arabic saying in regards to suicide, which goes something like this. If you want to die, throw yourself into the sea, and you will find yourself fighting to survive. Do you know why? Because even when someone is suicidal and things are really dark, they don't actually want to die. All they want is the pain that they're dealing with right now to end. And they think the only outcome is if they kill themselves, the suffering will stop. However, if somebody does kill themselves, the only thing that stops is a chance of it ever improving. That's really what it comes down to. So he gave up and he was at that low place. So as you can see, guys, remember, if you get involved with the wrong woman, this is something that can happen. I don't care how strong and confident you are. If you get pushed to a point, emotionally speaking, where things don't go well, you get betrayed, and there are other problems that happen in your life, this is what can happen. No man is exempt from this. There's a lot of strong guys and they become very, very weak. However, you can always become very, very strong again. And in fact, even stronger than before. And never let yourself become weak again. 3 days after that, she blocked me. Three days after she blocked me, I'd already started reading about human psychology and attachment styles. I was reading a book every day or two. I figured out my problems and immediately started working on them. Good. Hoping to get her back. Bad. Now, one of the great things about this guy, Jimmy, is that he takes accountability. He has a willingness to improve the quality of his life and understand things. As he mentioned here, I figured out my problems and immediately started working on them. That's what men do. We are doers. We see that there's a problem, we look for the solution. It's taking action. That's going to motivate you to keep going because you'll start to see results. That's where the change happens. That's where the growth happens. I finally stumbled upon one of your videos talking about monkey branching, and all the puzzle pieces suddenly fell into place. I immediately moved on. By May, I accidentally found out that she had been dating Side Boy Dan since October. What a coinkydink that is. No surprise over here. Yes, 3 months before, she said she wanted a break. I called it. I immediately lost all respect for her. Absolutely, as you should. Good riddance to her. I came across your videos which really paint a much clearer picture of everything. I remembered the old ex who was going crazy to get her back. Exactly 3 months into the relationship. And that is exactly the crazy ex that you became. You were dating her for 3 months and you're scratching your head thinking, why is she telling me that her crazy ex is begging her back? Why is the crazy ex trying to get her back if I've been in a relationship for 3 months? Why would he be doing that? And remember what you did, Jimmy. The same thing. You were begging and pleading, painting a perfect picture of the good times, trying to negotiate. You were the same ex. You became just like he did. So if she's done it to the ex and she's done it to you, who's to say she won't do it to Dan in the future, or that she hasn't done it to even other guys before? Look at the patterns in her behavior. It's always going to leave clues. Early June, she texted me saying she got engaged and is happy and that I should move on. I texted back that I've already moved on when I found out she's dating and for how long. I wished her well, and now I'm the one who blocked her out of my life. Forever. Good man. I've no respect for cheaters, and I only wished her well like I would wish any random stranger on the street, where she belongs. I absolutely love that. She's for the streets. I'll repeat that one more time because it sounds so well. I have no respect for cheaters, and I only wish her well like I would wish any random stranger on the street where she belongs. A round of applause for Jimmy. Got his strength back. You got your balls back. That's what matters. They deserve each other, and I hold no grudges. I have no feelings toward them one way or the other. Now, one of the things he also mentioned to me in a separate email was 5 months into the relationship, she was pressuring him for marriage. Insecure. Why is she rushing to lock him down? Because she knows she's got nothing to offer. And as he mentioned in that email, he also feels like he dodged a bullet. Absolutely. See, sometimes guys, going through a breakup can be one of the best things to happen to you because it's something you need to happen in order for you to grow. Most guys only ever even take the time to learn about dating, courtship and relationships, men and women, once they've been dumped, once they've been cheated on. Sometimes you need it, and that's okay. You come out stronger. It's a win-win either way. Life goes on. Because of all my reading, I now know what to look for in a woman. I have already rejected 2 very beautiful girls who showed similar red flags. He learned from his mistakes. No time to waste or emotions to invest. Smart man. Why is that so important? Guys, and even ladies, pay attention if you get involved with the wrong guy. It doesn't matter whether someone or something is good or bad for you. If you spend enough time around it, you will develop an emotional attachment. Which is why, when you spot the red flags at the beginning, your emotions are not going to be attached the same way as they would if you were 6 months or 5 years into that relationship. Which is why it's far easier walking away at the beginning. If you avoid the emotional attachment, you spot the red flags, hold true to your principles and your standards and walk away. Be your self-respect. That will also make you stronger. It's all about that. But he did the right thing this time because he's been through it. He rejected 2 beautiful girls that had the same red flags. No emotions, no time to waste or invest. I've been seeing a very beautiful girl. This is when it gets better. I've been seeing a very beautiful woman since early May who immediately put me to the test and has passed all of my tests. Because he values himself more, he's testing her to see if she's a good match. Because now he knows. You've got to be very careful. The only issue is that she has had childhood trauma, but she acknowledges it and is working on it. She's constantly reading on human psychology and attachment. She wants to improve herself and so that we will both heal together. We are not in a rush and we are both taking it slow. She has truly shown me what a woman of high value is like. That's perfect. Guys, not everybody comes from a good family or has a healthy background. She acknowledges her trauma from her childhood, but she's mature enough and has enough self-awareness to do the work on herself. That means she's growing into a much better woman as well. Therefore, she's able to have a relationship with him. So far, so good. Christian, thank you, brother. Your work is truly fascinating, and I'm saying this after reading so much about these matters. You have truly saved my life, and I owe you that. Please keep doing what you were doing. You have no idea how many lives you've changed. And all of your viewers out there, never compromise. Trust the process, value yourselves, and move on with your life. Read more and work on yourselves. The grass is definitely greener on the other side. And this was the same guy who, not too long ago, was depressed and suicidal. All it takes is doing exactly what he said. Trusting the process, valuing yourself, moving on with your life, reading more and doing the work on yourself. That's it. And he turned his life around for the better. So, Jimmy, thank you very much for sharing your success story and also for all the kind words you said about me just now. I really appreciate that. That motivates me and keeps me going. I'm glad to see the impact I'm making is for the better. Now, in the second email he sent me, he did give me a little extra information about this girl he's dating now, which I would like to add. So he mentioned the new woman is really drop dead gorgeous. Now, in regards to her background, she was with a guy for 8 years. That relationship didn't work out. She ended up walking away. She was always faithful to him, tried to make it work. When she couldn't, she walked away. She took 1 entire year for herself. No dating, nothing. To heal. What does that say about her? She's got a high self-esteem. She doesn't need to use men to fill the void. She doesn't feel like she needs to go out there and sleep with a random guy or get into a rebound relationship to get over the ex. She does it in a mature, healthy way by herself. She spent the time finishing her education. And he said when she met me, she refused to sleep with me right away. She said that she must know more of me to make sure that I'm the right person. This showed me how much respect she has for herself, and that she wouldn't give it to the next attractive guy. Absolutely. Women that have integrity do not sleep around with a guy they've just met. It's just like that. And now here's the best thing of all. She was fascinated by how much I knew about relationships and keeps asking questions about things she read but didn't understand. Because he's done so much to educate himself, to learn about relationships, and he's become so good at it, she's fascinated by it. So the good news is, as time goes on, she's just going to be even more fascinated by it. So good luck, and definitely keep me updated. Maybe in a few months, if things go well, send me another email with an update. I'm sure other guys would love to see how you've progressed. So with that said, guys, that's the story. That's Jimmy's experience from getting monkey wrenched all the way to recovering, moving on, and finding a much better quality woman. Sometimes all you need is to hear something motivational, something inspirational that will push you to move on, that will give you a little bit of hope. So with that said, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like. If you're new to the channel, by all means, subscribe. And if you would like to share your situation privately, you can message me via email. The email will be in the description of the video, and it's also on the About tab on the YouTube channel. And if you have anything to share, like Jimmy, a success story perhaps, by all means, send that to me, and I'll happily share it with the rest of my viewers. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.